Everyone, how are you all? I hope you all are fine, safe, and healthy. Welcome to the channel Zoom Knowledge. It is a space where we share about the various aspects of knowledge regarding to the topic. Today I'm gonna start the topic. I have taken the topic from the Cambridge IGCSE Biology, the 4th edition. Basically, this is the syllabus assigned for the O-level students. So the first chapter I'm going to start with you people is the characteristics and classification of living organisms. The topic we discussed today are characteristics of living organisms and the classification system. So being a living organism, everyone thought about that what kind of characteristics, features we have or we share. So basically every living organism share same characteristics. The key definitions of those characteristics that every living organism share we discussed today in this video. So there are several characteristics that every living organism share, but there are some important, or we can say that the basic characteristics of the living organisms are movement, respiration, sensitivity, growth, excretion, and nutrition. So these 7 characteristics we all living organisms share, these 7 characteristics. So the first characteristic is movement. Now when we thought about movement, every organism show some kind of movement to change the place, to change the position. Movement is an action by an organism or a part of an organism causing a change or position of place. Now this characteristic all organisms share. The second one is about the respiration. Every organism respire. Without respiration, there is no metabolism, there is no chemical reaction in our body happen. So respiration describes the chemical reactions of the cells. Basically, this is the cellular respiration that happens in our body. Respiration do the chemical reactions of our cells to break down the nutrient molecules and release energy for the metabolism, for the further chemical reactions that are going to happen in our body. So the third one is sensitivity. Sensitivity is basically the character that organisms share about their favorable conditions, that in which environment or the people are about to stay, or they live over there. But not all organisms would stay in the same environment. Every particular organism or every species of the organism have some kind of favorable conditions that they show about the environment. So sensitivity is the ability to detect and respond to the changes in the internal or external environment. This is all about the internal and external environment that every living organism share. The next one is growth. Now growth is also the major characteristics or the basic characteristics the organisms share. This is the permanent increase in size and dry mass. So it is now when we are going to talk about these characteristics, everyone should know that yes, these are the major characteristics, or these are the basic characteristics that living organisms would show. Next one is reproduction. Every organism reproduce. Every organism make the organisms of the same kind like themselves. So reproduction is the process that make more of the same kind of organisms. Excretion is the removal of waste products. Every organism also have the excretory system, the proper excretory system in their bodies. So excretory system is the process in which the wastes of our body, or the substances which are excess in our body, which are not required by the body, so this should be excreted out of our body. Excretion is the removal of waste products of metabolism and substances in excess of requirements. Those are waste products, those substances which are excess of their requirements in our body, which are not usable or used for the body, they should be excrete out from the body. The last one, the last character the living organisms share is nutrition. Nutrition is the most important character that living organisms have, which is about when we take nutrition, we get energy, we grow, and we also develop our body parts. So these 7 basic characteristics of living organisms are very important to know, that how they work in our body. And do all organisms have the same characteristics? Yes, all the living organisms show these basic characteristics, which are movement, respiration, sensitivity, growth, reproduction, excretion, and the last one is excretion. So we all discuss about the characteristics. Now about these characteristics, there is the key which we all people would say that we should have some kind of short form, some kind of abbreviations of the words or the phrases, so we can learn them easily. So there is also the key which is known as the mnemonic key, which is used which show about these characteristics. All right, so there it is. All organisms, whether they are single-celled or multicellular, plants or animals, they show characteristics like included in the definitions. Okay, they are movement, respiration, sensitivity, growth, reproduction, excretion, and nutrition. So there is the mnemonic key that we use to mention these characteristics in their first letter. Only we use the first letter of the characteristic to make the key. Now this is the Mrs. Gren. M stands for the movement, R respiration, S sensitivity, green growth, R again reproduction, E excretion, and N for the nutrition. This is the whole characteristics of the living organism in one key. This is very important to know about how we can use these keys or the key in the further way. So mnemonic work because they help to make the material you are learning more meaningful. It is very meaningful, it is very helpful for our for the students or for ourselves to learn about these characteristics. If we learn the single phrase, we all know about the characteristics of the living organisms. We don't have to make the cramming of all the characteristics of the living organisms. All right, so the next one, the topic we are going to talk about is the classification system. Now classification system is all about or all depend upon the characteristics of the living organism. Every organism show characteristics. If every organism show the same characteristics, they should lie in the same group or they should be classified. There are the international classification system, which is known as the binomial system, which is used for the organisms to make their classes, to assign them in classes those organisms that share some particular kind of same or basic characteristics. All right, so these first we have to understood about what are species and what is the binomial system that is used internationally for the classification. So species, what is species? Species is a group of organisms that can reproduce to produce fertile offspring. This is the very important definition we should have to understood about the species, because before we are going to classify the organisms, we have to mention about the species, that this species or these group of organisms have the same characteristics, so this group will lie in the one class. All right, so species should be understood very firstly. Species is a group of organisms that can reproduce to produce fertile offspring. All right, so then we come to classify the species. The binomial system, which is also known as the naming system, naming of organism, is the internationally agreed system in which the scientific name of an organism is made up of two parts showing the genus and species. Genus and species, these two characteristics in the binomial system are very important. We understood about these two parts. These are the two parts of the classification system, of the naming system, or of the binomial system. So these two parts play a major role in classifying the organism. First we have to know about what is the genus of that species, and then we have to know about the species. All right, so these are the major characteristics that we should have to understood about or before classifying the organism into the classes or according to their name. Okay, so the topic we ended. If you people like, or so I request that please share, like and subscribe the channel. So hope we will meet in the next video. Take care. Khuda Hafiz.